go to that page on your packet. I included information on the applicant's information, the property owner. I circled on the map where that property is generally located on the quadrant map. And then following after that, it's a picture from the front yard of the resident. So we have two. One was submitted by a resident, and the second was submitted by one of our board members, Melissa. I'll let you guys look over those pictures, and when you're ready, someone would make a motion to vote for a winner or nominate a winner, I guess.
Does they have to be, because I thought we could do a winner in each zone, right? So they can both be winners since they're in different zones?
Yeah, we did leave it based on past motions to the discretion of the board for you guys to select more than one winner per month. So if you wish to, this can be one of the months in which you give the certificate of recognition and the sign for the yard to both winners. And at the end of the period of the first 4 months, someone's going to get a gift card out of all of the winners. If that makes any sense. But we can go back to, you can also reference back the minutes that were approved.
Well, okay, but the plan was originally one person from each of the four quadrants.
Quadrants?
Yeah, that was the rules.
On the motion that I have here on the minutes, we just have it as the board would have discretion to nominate.
City will be divided into
Many
4 areas outlined by the district map divided in the city of Saginaw. One award will be given within each area monthly if nominations are made within that area.
Okay. Good. So yeah,
Yeah.
your discretion.
Oh,
Well, those are
Okay.
the notes from the prior meeting that you had. I attached them for your reference. So those notes are from July 15th of 2024, but those are not the formally approved minutes from last meeting. Anything that was not, however, like striked or approved last meeting is still up to your discretion. So again, you can select just one or the two today.
I think we do both. It's one from each quadrant,
correct.
and I think that if we do give them recognition to both, then that also advertises it more. Okay. Was the gift card, though, I thought
I thought it was
the gift card
$50.
was for each winner.
Each winner, each month.
Yeah.
So the motion was to approve the addition of a $50 gift card award to contest winners with the requirement that gift cards be purchased from a local business. One $50 gift card will be awarded to the best yard for all monthly winners selected from April to September. So they will still get their rewards, but for the gift card, from the month of April to September, only one person would get a gift card.
Was this something that the council changed? Because when we talked about it last month, we specifically were budgeting because we said it was going to be $200 a month if all 4 quadrants had a winner.
You guys approved the motion as was the staff recommendation to have one gift card issued for that period and then one in October, one in November, and then one in December for a total financial impact for the year of $200. If you wish to change that today, you can include it on your motion.
I say we change that.
You what?
We changed it, because I thought it was.
I
for
thought
each-
that's
I
what-
thought it was each winner as well. Would
Me
get a
too.
$50 gift card.
Yes.
That's what I thought too.
And that's not what we did?
So they're saying
Well,
that
that's
the
what we
$50 that's what
discussed.
thought. That's what we, but she's saying that the way it was written was that it was one $50 gift card a month to the best house versus.
Yeah, so the staff recommendation, we recommended something so that the financial impact total would only be $200 for the fiscal year. Not $200 for for each month or each quarter.
I thought it was $50 per yard per month.
That's what I thought too.
I thought that's what we discussed, because we even talked about how much that would be per year.
Motion to change it.
Can we, so I moved to change it to $50 per month per yard winner per quadrant,
Which is $200 total impact per month,
for a $1,200-ish impact.
2,400.
2,400, thank you. Math, bad.
2,400 per year.
So you guys want to
$200
make a
per month.
motion today to change it?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
And
so,
it would be up to $200. Like this month, we only had 2 yards, so we're only really gonna be
Yeah.
giving out 100.
right.
So obviously,
so we want to set a yearly limit or just kind of leave it to board discretion as to how many you want to award?
well,
throughout
so I say we can set a limit of 2,400 that allows $200 a month, but
Set.
we may not use that.
Yeah,
If
a
we
limit of
don't have
4
the
gift
yard.
card winners a month,
Gotcha, so we want to
Period.
increase the budget to $200 a month.
Right.
please,
Okay.
yes.
So then
That's-
in a moment, whenever you guys are ready to make a motion, in the motion, you can say, I make a motion to award both yards that were nominated for the month of April and to change the previously approved motion for awards for the Yard of the Month program to expand the budget to $200 a month for gift cards for every month,
Okay.
so that multiple winners can get gift cards in every month of the year.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
I move to award both yards that were nominated for the month of, is that April?
Yeah.
As winners, and a motion to change the awards to $50 gift card goes to each winner in
In a month.
each quadrant, or in April, and budget up to $2,400 a year for
Okay.
gift cards for winners. Does that cover it all? Sorry.
So I have a
think I'm
motion
overheated.
to, yeah, no,
Sorry, I was out in the garden for this.
no, you're good. Again, these are always up to the board's discretion.
Okay.
So we'll change it to, your motion was to nominate, or sorry, award the 2 people that were nominated for this month of April, and to change the awarding, the gift card award program, so that we have a $2,400 budget yearly, and multiple people can get awarded a gift card every month.
Yes.
Yes.
If you guys want to leave it a little bit less specific, so that if we have, a special month where one person from each quadrant submits a nomination, you can choose to give them a gift card each.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I'll,
So moved.
I'll
So-
second.
okay. Then I'm assuming we have a yes from everyone on that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, glad we got through that. So now I'll let our chairman move us to the next meeting.
The next item under business 2B is going to be discussion regarding the decorative banners in the city.
Okay. So if you guys could turn to your packet, I did include a little bit of background discussion when it came to those banners. As I had discussed in prior updates, I was preparing us to select new designs to add more banners, because we have some that are up that have holiday themes or, 4th of July theme from even last year. And as part of that preparation process, I inquired with Encore to make sure that we were clear on their end to continue to hang banners in their poles, their light poles. Unfortunately, I was informed that given their guidelines for banner placement, the poles that have 2 light fixtures are not permitted locations for banner placement, which was, of course, confusing on our end because we already had them. So I inquire about past requests submitted by either the city, board members, or in this case, Willow Creek Signs, which is the company that we paid to do these installations. And unfortunately, there was never a record of anything being submitted on the city's end. I did request for a possible exemption because Bailey, Boswell, Old Decatur, Longhorn, and Blue Mound majorly have those poles located in the medians and have 2 fixtures on them. But that request for exemption was denied, given the fact that since 2009, the guidelines have been the same, and those locations have never been permitted. In the conversation with the Encore representatives, it was noted that normally smaller cities go under the radar because they're not as trafficked as something like Fort Worth Main Avenue, if that makes any sense. So I'm not sure how this got missed under Encore's radar either. The point is that all of these locations were rendered unfit, and we did have to move with on installing them as soon as possible. The cost provided by Willow Creek Signs for removal services would be $1,860. We unfortunately have to remove the banners and also the brackets that we would normally leave attached so that we can just replace the banners. Moving forward, the board will need to identify new locations for banner placement that comply with the attached Encore guidelines. Potential alternative locations may include wooden utility tools that have 1 light fixture or poles without luminaires. However, these are often part of other providers. So the ones that we have on McElroy, if they don't have light fixtures, sometimes they belong to AT&T or Verizon or other phone providers, other companies that we would likely need to get permission from to place these banners. Decorative poles are also an alternative that Encore would permit, but again, it's just kind of, we are starting back from zero. If the board wants to continue with the banner program, it would just kind of be reassessing completely different roads that have poles laid out in a way that it lends, in a way to make sense to have banners, right? So that we can place them and they're not sporadically placed throughout the street, and that are also visible or serve their purpose for the city. On the first page of that attachment, I do have a map with the locations of the current banners, which are set or scheduled, I guess, to be removed, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. We also have on the following page the current stock of banners. So with the banners that are currently hung up and the ones that we have at the Public Works office that we store, we only have 45 banners, with 7 being holiday theme, 6 being season greetings, 16 we have an American flag theme with a welcome to Saginaw message. So what I'm trying to get across is if we decide to do different roads, we'll likely also need to place orders for new banners or choose maybe just one design that stays up throughout the year and we just change a couple banners just strategically placed maybe in city facilities or something. But I'll let you guys discuss if this is something that you want to continue pursuing. Again, it wouldn't be an action item, it would just be a discussion or maybe other
I kind
alternative
of
plan.
be interested in knowing if there are other options for people to do the banners if we continue to do it, because we've had so much trouble. I mean, look how many, in fact, I saw the one on the bridge the other day and was going to bring out the happy holidays on the bridge, and there's still happy holidays, a season's greetings. They were supposed to pull all of those down, and I think they were paid to do so. Do we have any record of what they were paid?
So they were paid to install them. I do have the invoices for the installation back in 2024, and we paid a total of $5,380 to install.
And we knew that because they had to install the brackets. So we knew that first one was supposed to be expensive, but what about the changing of the banners after that? Have we paid them since?
So actually, we don't have any work orders with them. This was another situation with Willow Creek Signs. Our Public Works Director, Randy Newsom, and a couple of other council members also inquire about it because of the fact that we have some signs that are not matching in theme. And he states that there was never a work order placed prior to Keith's retirement, that after the installment of these holiday ones, he was never requested to change them. I know that last month, I did not request him to remove them because I was still on the hopes that Encore was going to let us continue to use those poles, and I didn't want to make a call for the board and then, spend money and then turn around and be able to continue to use those poles, and now we have to pay to reinstall those banners. But prior to that, he told me that this is the last expense, and it was confirmed by our finance director that keeps record of all of these transactions.
Well, I mean, at some point, a Train and Grain Festival one got up. Somebody did that, because we didn't order the Train and Grain Festival ones until last summer, so that we could have them in time for the Train and Grain. So, and then, because the first ones we ordered were the Welcome to Saginaw and the City on the Right Track.
It was a blue one with the city logo.
Yeah.
And then just white lettering.
And then,
Yeah.
but the Train and Grain Festival, somebody replaced that one with last year, somebody changed it to the Train and Grain Festival, which is weird, that just one got changed. I'd be interested in looking into it some more now, knowing what we know as far as the rules and where we can put them, and before we have them put up again.
And I think,
I really always hated that we couldn't put them on Main Street.
yeah.
That really,
Because that's our that's our main trouble route. And I think it's worth looking at other sign companies to do it if we can't get a decent sign company that's gonna come out and actually have work orders and be able for us to track this stuff. Because if we're talking like someone came out and changed it at Train and Grain, but there's no record of that.
Yeah, that-
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
yeah.
And I think probably Willow Creek was.
But I'm also looking, and it looks like the last order of flags we approved, because the last time we approved an order for more banners, which I'm guessing is a good thing at this point, because we ordered some different fall ones that last time. Do you remember we looked at just Happy Fall or that sort of thing?
So just so that I understand, Encore won't allow the banners on any of their double lighted poles, period.
Period, yeah. And it, according
So what do
to,
other bigger cities do that have these banners up? What kind of poles do they put up?
it would
Well,
have to be a pole with only one light fixture, wood pole with one light fixture. Sometimes it's those traffic light poles that have a pole that goes farther than the traffic light that has a light fixture, or a decorative pole. I did attach like Encore's guidelines that were provided to me on that call and email correspondence. They did unfortunately not provide an exemption based on the fact that these guidelines have actually been in place since 2009 or 2007, I believe. So it's always been the rule that poles with two fixtures are not permitted locations to put banners on. For the record, we have looked into, Willow Creek Signs only installs the banners, but we get the banners, or most of the time we would get the banners from display sales.
Yeah.
And I believe is Street Decor, the other provider. I am in communication with a vendor that would do both the banners and installation of them, but I can't get you a specific quote given the fact that we're probably going to have to completely change the streets that we're placing banners on.
So is there any type of thought in getting some type of decorative pole to put them on? And what that would look like?
We did inquire with our Public Works Director and department. When this happened, they did a drive around the city to kind of see if there's other potential roads that would be good. Potentially Knowles and McElroy, but that would not be recommended to the board until completion of those roads. Because they're still under construction, Encore would likely still add some poles. We looked into Basswood since it was a road that was mentioned in our last meeting. And Basswood does have a lot of poles that have two light fixtures in the median. There is some in the corners.
That have
They're
single-
just not kind of conveniently like close together. So it would be a little bit awkward for the drivers to really see those banners, which defeats the purpose for.
Well, so the city owns the
expense.
medians, right, on Basswood? That's
Uh,
city property?
That's city property, and then there's others that we don't. So
So
all
is
the
it-
But they're Encore lights on city property.
Yeah, that-
Well, right, but what I'm saying is if the city owns the medians, is there not opportunity in any of the space on the medians to put up decorative poles between the light poles?
We did inquire, but they couldn't give me a cost. It would really depend as to where the pole is placed, how many.
Because even Bailey
I'm
is-
sorry. I've been called like 6 times by my mother.
We can,
Yeah, we can pause, that's fine. No worries.
What's wrong? Mom, what's wrong?
Oh.
Hmm.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be, is everything okay?
Enough that I can get through the meeting, yes. She's in North Carolina, there's little I can do. But when she calls like over and over and over, there's something wrong.
No, you know, sure, take care of that moment.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. When she calls multiple times, there's something wrong.
Come.
Sure.
So yes, that's a good
Please,
point, to
thank you.
consider potential installment of our own decorative banners. The question would be how many, and then we'll need to assess a cost.
That would be good down McElroy with all this new. I'd be interested in finding out how much it would cost to install our own poles for that purpose.
You got one stuff. Work, sorry, my work's like blowing up my phone. Okay,
So I get this
well,
right,
'cause I'm
we do
thinking-
have
my
X
thought,
amount of, go ahead,
no,
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna interrupt, you go. I was just gonna say, my thought was the roads that they've done the median work on, you've got Longhorn, you've got Old Decatur, you've got Bailey Boswell, you've got Basswood. All of those are city-owned medians. So my question is, why couldn't we use some of the space in those medians to put up decorative poles, and then we have an option to hang our banners?
I like that idea.
Because then,
They're on,
those are some of our major roadways that are traveled with our, and so I think those would be better opportunities to look at what decorative poles would cost, how many we would need for each road, right?
yeah, to be
And that
spaced
would
out a
make
little
us-
better. I didn't realize these were all jumbled either.
That way we would be able to still use the banners, and we'd have our own option to do that.
Madam Chairman, good afternoon, Board. My name is Peter Sombrano, Director of Economic and Community Engagement. So that's actually an option we are looking into because, as you're aware, 287 is not a Saginaw road, that's a TxDOT
Right.
road. And we usually would love to post a sign up saying, hey, training grain or fireworks, but we can't unless TxDOT, there's a huge bureaucratic system that they have. So we've actually, like, my department has looked into potentially adding our own poles as well. So that's something that we are still looking into, but that's definitely, we only considered 2 on the side, on the streets that we own. We never considered a middle one. So that's a potential that we could look into on my side of my department. I'm just here for computer help.
Yes, sir?
But I just want to let y'all know that it's something we've talked about.
Okay. Yeah, I like that idea. And spreading out, yeah, because I didn't realize like they were all jumbled. No wonder I never see them, because there's like none on this side of Saginaw.
And just to clarify too, some of them have probably fallen because of weather damage,
Sure.
because there was 46 installed last year.
But then,
For
that
the
also with that idea, because it would be our poles and our banners, then we'd be able to utilize our city to
We-
put them up and take them down, or would we still have a sign company do that?
Well, we opted to have the sign company do that
Okay.
because the city really didn't have the manpower to
Oh,
do
I see,
that.
I see, okay. Well, that's still, I just think that would be a better option, so that we can still use our banners.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So, okay, so we're not making a motion on that, we're just having a discussion about.
Yeah, just a discussion about potential future approaches, and then when we get to the future agenda items, you can either request some form of update, either on potential cost for installations of decorative poles, for a future meeting or whatever you desire. But at this point, we're not taking action.
Okie dokie.
Did you have something else to say?
I was just wondering, when this McElroy Street gets all finished, the beautiful new buildings, both sides, everything redone, will we have a median down this street?
I would need to look at the plans again for the intended improvements for Knowles, and if there's any intentions to
Because this is
also
gonna be our main drag.
include a median. Yeah, I'm
In
not quite
time.
sure if there's going to be a median plan, unfortunately, but I can get you that information.
But even if there's not a median plan for it, you could potentially try to do it like maybe on corner locations, right? Where you turn on streets and stuff, like
Sure.
that might be an option where you put up a pole, because those are areas where people are gonna be stopping and like seeing, have an opportunity to read it. So I think if there's not a median opportunity, then we look at potentially putting them up on like corner areas.
Okay. that
And in
was
some of
fine.
those roundabouts.
Yeah,
Well, until they,
I mean, even on WJ Bose, you could even do, like, it doesn't have a median, right? But it still has good corner locations that you could still put banners up on WJ, because that's a pretty well-traveled road too.
extremely,
Yeah.
if you've not been there after.
WJ Boa, oh, yeah, across, through here, I'm thinking that way, but through here is in the city, but on the other side of Old Decatur, that's Fort Worth. But yeah, through there.
And I guess my question too on the Old Decatur, because I know it's like shared between Fort Worth and Saginaw. So are the medians on Old Decatur city, our city,
So the median at Old Decatur, you mean?
on Old Decatur?
Uh,
Are they our city medians, or are they?
There's some that are maintained by us.
Okay,
Again, I can get you maybe a breakdown of which specific medians are maintained, because I know that we do it also more based on intersections and whatever medians are at the intersections as well. But the poles, regardless of Fort Worth or Saginaw, would still be under Encore's jurisdiction. Yeah.
Okay, do we need someone to check and see how much these poles might cost?
so we can do that at the end when we do future agenda, we can ask to request it.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I'll let
We're
you
Are we good?
move us on to the next item if you guys are ready.
Okay, next item is going to be under staff report.
I have another question about the flags.
Oh.
Where are they stored? Who's responsible for taking care of them?
So Willow Creek Signs is not responsible. They don't have enough space in their facilities to store them. They're currently being stored at our Public Works facility in our office. So I rolled them up, counted them, and just kind of made sure what count we have.
Because we certainly don't want them to disappear.
Yes, no, they're being stored right now. We'll keep them just in case. I mean, we bought them. They're ours, so they'll stay in store.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
just make sure that's noted that,
Yes.
Any more questions? Are we good? Okay. Next item is going to be under staff reports for a landscaping plan for the new library report.
So I know it was our interest on our last meeting to inquire a little bit more about the landscape layout for the library. For some information or I guess background discussion, the landscaping for the public library and senior center has been designed in accordance to the city's landscape code. All required regulations were met during the development process, and construction is proceeding in accordance to those approved civil plans. I do have a bigger page from what's in your package. Let me know if you would like to look at that so I can take it over. And as the owner, the city still retains the ability to incorporate additional landscape features beyond those that are required. So once the requirements from our landscape code had been met, we're free to, I guess, add any additional features to landscape or layout as we wish. Lee Howell, our assistant city manager, is overseeing this project, and he informed me that the architectural and landscape designs were inspired by other municipal projects and facilities, including the new fire station. They also took some inspiration to City Hall and our current library in both the landscape layout as well as the actual structure of the building and external decoration. The attached site plan and renderings outline the landscape layout and depict the intended views of the building's front and back. At this stage, the city is focusing on completing the landscape as outlined in the civil plans. As noted by the assistant city manager, some minor landscaping elements have already been installed. The developer is currently finishing up completion of fence installation and a few other elements before proceeding with tree planting and the rest of the features, which are expected to take place within the next 3 to 4 weeks, unless, anything happens out of schedule that affects their timeline. The Keep Saginaw Beautiful Board is welcome to make recommendations regarding potential additions, such as monumental signage, public art, or other landscaping enhancements that you guys would like to recommend. If you wish to propose these, it is advised to proceed as soon as possible to ensure consideration within the current construction timeline. It will be easier to include those recommendations now than after it's completed. Lee Howell, our assistant city manager, said that he's willing to meet with us, give us a tour of the construction site of the new library, show you around what progress they currently already have. And you're also welcome to come to our facility to look at the plans more closely, other pages perhaps, and take pictures if you wish. I do have the larger page here, if anyone wants to look at it, and a rendering of it.
I defer to Lena on all things yard, garden.
I don't have a green thumb, so.
And some of the details on that plan do look a little bit overwhelming, as well as the long list of plans that are going to be included. But as you see in your package, once it comes all together and the renderings, it's a little bit less crowded. But that's what's intended right now. The only difference or thing that they have changed is that in the back, there is going to be a big space. So if you go to the last rendering that shows the back of the library, that was initially intended to be synthetic grass. It is going to be real grass now. So that's one change they've made. They do have a couple of monumental signs already. One is the bench with the lady sitting on it, the one that we saw in our last meeting. And there's another one of a cowboy sitting down and reading a book that they currently have at this library. I note that the one that is a bench would probably go in the general front area of the building, but they're still pending on final decision for the other one.
They listed the plants on here too, if you want to see the plants.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lena, did you want to see about getting a tour?
I'd love to see a tour, yes.
Yeah, so if you'd like to, after this meeting tomorrow, I can reach out, or you can let me know whatever works for you at the end of this meeting as well. Let me know what day of the week would work best.
Okay,
Um,
girls, are y'all going to be available for the tour?
When is it? When?
It would be up to you guys, whatever day you're available, and then I'll check with our assistant city manager,
Is there a time of the
Lee.
day that y'all, I'm retired, so any time's a good time for me.
I'm after 5, so I don't know if that's,
It's coming,
huh?
it's coming.
Let's say, I currently work I work afternoons, but I'm a supervisor for a police communications center, and we're short-staffed right now, so now I'm working all kinds of shifts, so.
Well, make it
I think you
convenient,
just have to send it to us and like.
make it convenient for Lena, and then if,
Yeah. if
then-
we can
Then
come, we'll come.
anytime, morning or afternoon is
Okay.
fine with me.
because she's the expert on the trees and plants and all that stuff.
And
and
if I'm available, I'll try to make it
Same here.
if I'm available that day.
Yep. So, just to clarify, Ms. Chairman, I'll follow up with our Assistant City Manager, check what dates he's available, and then I'll send you guys the information.
Thank you.
But we'll likely accommodate to Mrs. Goff for.
Do
for
you
that.
know, since I'm the yard person, I want this whole avenue to look the same, all the way down to the fire department. Do you know if there's a list of the plants and stuff that are at the fire department available to us?
I can get you a list of the plants that are currently planted at the fire department. I did include what's being planted right now at the library, or what's planned, and he did let me know that that layout was heavily influenced by the current layout of the fire station.
Good.
And the plants that they have there to keep some consistency. But whenever
I'd
we
love
meet
for it
with
all
Lee.
to, just to make it pretty all the way, consistent, both sides of the street, because if we landscape that side with the new buildings, we need to redo the landscape on this side. Because I understand these are all gonna be turned into public offices of some sort.
Yeah, so
And
I
they
can.
desperately need to be re-landscaped.
I can bring the list of plants that are currently planted at the fire station, just so that you can have it for your reference, compare what's being utilized, and if you wish to recommend collectively, maybe the addition of other plants to make it a little bit more cohesive in a specific area of the plan that I've provided. So maybe at the front, or the median in between the parking lot and the front office, or maybe you'll like it in the back where people are gonna be probably hanging out for events. That would be up to your discretion, but I'll bring that information to our tour.
Maybe we
Okay.
suggest for discussion at the next meeting, discussing redoing the landscaping along here. Because then we
Yeah.
can discuss it at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good?
Mr. Chairman, I'll let you move.
All right, next item, 4B, Adopt a Spot program updates.
Yeah, so this, just a quick little recap of our Adopt a Spot program. We did receive a couple of applications of people that were interested in adopting a spot near a city dog park. However, those are currently not eligible locations because they don't have any features like planters or a sign, or more of a spot that people could actually adopt and assist the city in maintaining. So we're working right now with our Public Works Director to identify alternative locations that meet the adoption criteria. So it would have to be a right-of-way or a sign or something of that sort. I know that right now there is plans to add bushes around the parking lots at Highland Station Park, so that's likely going to be a location proposed to people. As for the Opal, Joe Jennings, and Brian Memorial Parks, those signs and the other decorative signs that are placed there that have a little bit of history about the parks will be removed once renovations begin. They'll be stored at the Public Works facility, and then they'll be placed back, except for the one at Opal, that one used to belong to Kelly. And for Brian, we currently have a sign for a school club, EMS ISD Club Ames, I believe it's called. We have tried to contact them to see if they're interested in relocating or waiting until those renovations are completed to renew their application, and we're still waiting for a response. But those are all the updates that we have at the moment for the program. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Have we ever considered putting a sign on the adopted spots? Like they do on the median, this spot is for adoption?
Oh,
Putting signs on the, putting spots on the, signs on the spots that are currently available for adoption. I don't believe that's something that has been implemented in the past. If that's something that you
'Cause
guys maybe
that
wish
might
to,
create more interest in it if you drove by Opal's.
yeah, so
little
that people
thing
are
and
more
said,
aware of
This
what
spot
they
is
can.
available for adoption.
Yeah, we currently do have a more than 15 kind of like metal T yard sign things that you can place on grass or dirt. The actual plastic sign, it costs like $10, from $5 to $10 to print and attach. So the metal, we have 15 that can be reused. We would just need to get a list or collaborate with our Public Works Director to see if we can maybe find other locations that we haven't looked at in the past that would be available for adoption.
I think that would,
That's a good idea.
I think it would benefit the program.
Yeah, if you guys wish to, once we get to future agenda items, and as well as you're letting me know right now, we can have that as a future.
I make a motion that we do this.
well, we have to add it for
Okay.
future agenda.
Future agenda, make a motion that it's put on the new agenda.
Okay, yes, ma'am. We'll discuss that once we get to the future agenda items. But do we have any more questions right now for the current updates?
No, ma'am.
So,
Okay, Ms. Chairman, I'll let you.
item is
Continue.
4C, expenditure fund report.
Okay, this is just a summary of the donations that have been received on February and March. We currently have a total of technically $129,000, $129,707 once we subtract the expense that we are anticipating for the removal of banners and brackets that are placed across the city. Again, we are anticipating those to be removed within the next couple of weeks, so likely come off of our account in these following months, or these following weeks, sorry. Then the second page is just kind of, again, more of a detailed list of all of the donations that we've received. Do we have any questions at the moment?
No, ma'am.
Nope. What I will say is we have quite a bit of people that donate quite a bit.
Everybody who does it online probably don't even realize because it's just automatically included if they do it online.
Well,
So,
it's good that we
are oblivious?
make
Yes.
it the city
Yes.
with the funds that we get.
Because I went to look after I learned about the committee, because I'm like, oh, I don't do that. How do I do that? And if you do it online, it's like an automatic thing in there. So I was like,
I
okay.
don't think I've ever noticed when I pay my bill online. Well, it goes through my bank, so there's no,
Yeah.
Do we have any other additional questions?
No, ma'am.
Well,
The last item is gonna be 4D, future agenda items.
Well, we want to talk about landscaping all along McElroy.
Yep. And then the,
Signs for Adopt a Spot.
and the pricing on poles and
Locations for
Locations.
banners.
location list where we could potentially put them if we use the medians.
I like
Is
that
that-
idea of us doing decorative poles.
Yeah,
That would be,
so like, one, checking to make sure that would be an option to do the decorative poles on the medians. And then two, what that's gonna, how many we're allotted to do, and then what that's gonna cost us.
what roads are you guys interested when inquiring about potential locations? Just any potential locations that staff would recommend?
Any, but-
McElroy, Basswood,
Yeah,
Old
I would say
Decatur.
Basswood, Bailey, Old Decatur, Longhorn, McElroy,
Okay.
and on the,
WJ Boaz.
oh yeah, WJ Bose too.
I don't know if we have
And if
any.
you wanna specify on like WJ Bose and McElroy, like maybe corner locations where they're, it's at. a-
Median or corner, yeah, median or corner.
I mean, not just there, but like, at least on the one side, it would have to probably be corner locations. On the other side, maybe not as many corners, but still be able to place them on our right of way there.
Okay. we have landscaping along McElroy, poles, decorative poles on medians and potential locations of placement alongside the roads mentioned. Adopt a spot updates for a list of available spots that we can continue to use. Do we have any other requests for future
On the
agenda items?
landscape for McElroy, do you need to be specific, more specific, as in like, we want it cohesive, like a cohesive look?
Mhm.
So it's not just any landscape, but like what's gonna flow together well?
I can bring you guys what the current structure is for the existing facilities that are not currently under construction.
Okay.
And then you can take that information into consideration for potentially proposing a new incorporation at the library if you don't think that that what's currently in place, favors the purpose to have them all look similar. But again, that would really be up to you guys after. But yeah, I can show you the list of plans and kind of general layout of the current library, city hall, and the fire station. So at this point, if you guys do not wish to discuss any other future agenda items, Ms. Chairman, you're welcome to make a motion, open the room for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Are we good? Do we have?
Good.
Okay,
Yeah, I open the floor to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second
Or
it.
a motion to adjourn.
Moved, second, which, one or the
Third,
other?
whatever.
Okay, so I have a motion by ladies number 4, Lena, and then it will be a second from Melissa.
Good meeting, ladies.
Yes. Thank you, thank you.